Good morning, fasters. It's fasting day 10. We're about halfway through. What an incredible journey that we've been on. I'm so glad I get to be your coach, and I'm so glad you are on this journey. Now, regardless of the option you've chosen, chances are you might be experiencing some lightheadedness at this point. Feel free to modify, as we've been saying. Add some calories or shorten the time between your meals. Do whatever you need to do. Give yourself permission to adapt. And right now, truth is, friends, you might be experiencing some spiritual attack. Many are. And so what you do in that is you pray, you work through it, but you also reach out to others and invite the prayers of protection and support of other people. Today I want to talk to you about disordered loves. One day a person came up to the 4th century theologian Augustine and said, "What's the greatest problem facing humanity?" Without batting an eye, Augustine said, "Disordered love." Disordered love. What's that all about? Well, truth is, sometimes we love the wrong things, but more often than not, we love good things in the wrong order. Now listen, when our loves are out of order, our lives are out of order. Jesus said this in Mark chapter 12, verses 28 to 31. And one of the scribes came up and heard them disputing with one another, and seeing that he answered them well, asked him, "Which commandment is the most important of all?" Jesus answered, "The most important of all is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is this, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these." So what's going on here? What's going on is Jesus is quoting an Old Testament confession of God's people, Israel, called the Shema. It's found in Deuteronomy 6, verses 4 through 9. And in this passage, what Jesus is doing is he's ordering our loves. And notice the priority. Jesus gives priority first and foremost, one, to loving God first. Then secondly, we are to love people. So Jesus is ordering our loves. Our first love should be our vertical love between you and God. We should give our time, our energy, our intentionality to the vertical love, growing our love for God. And then from that, then we share God's love with other people. Vertical love. The vertical priority drives our horizontal activities. Let me ask you, do you live like that? Because I know for me, sometimes, but more often than not, I default to my horizontal priority driving my vertical reality. And the reality is that's out of order. That is out of order. And so Jesus is going to reorder our loves. And in this fast, that's exactly what happens. It's almost like Jesus shaking up the snow globe of our hearts, and everything's up in the air, and all of our habits, practices are settling back down in a more vertical way. So often, friends, we really can love good things in God's place. There's some of us that you might find at times, you go, man, I kind of feel like I love my job more than God. I give my energy. I give my time, my intentionality more to that. Or maybe you love your hobbies in God's place, or you could love your preferences in God's place, or your reputation in God's place, or honestly, we can love our comforts in God's. We can even love our families in God's place. Now remember, when our loves are out of order, our lives are out of order. Friends, whenever I feel like I'm dry inside, like just things are just not right, it's like my soul is like a zoo full of voices, or I feel like fragmented in my focus, or I'm just overwhelmed on the inside, it's a sign of disordered love. And so during this fast, this is one of the things that fasting is, it reorders our love to the vertical priority first, and then that vertical priority will drive our horizontal activity. That's how it should be. As we say no to food and we're saying yes to God through prayer, scripture, and nudges, God is reordering our hearts, reordering our loves, and honestly, reordering our lives. So let's keep on. You keep praying for me. I'll keep praying for you. Let's encourage one another with comments in the section below. At this point in the middle, it's time to start sharing more stories. So share your stories of how God is leading you, speaking to you, helping you. Any of those stories would be super encouraging to one another. Know that I love you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.